Slips.com, 100% listener-supported radio, and now we return you to your host.
It's the Fetch Inside the Eye live prime time. Again, it's Thursday, but it's really Friday for yours truly, as it's getting like 3:29 in the morning here. Whew, it's a long day, man. Really, it's a long day. I think I started my day, though, kind of late, 4 o'clock. Not 4 o'clock. I think I got to bed like at 4:50 in the morning yesterday morning. And then I think I got up at about 10:30 and kind of been going all day since. But it's just been a long week, just no time to myself like before. Just not like before. I used to have a lot of time. There's an interesting statement here, and it's actually well written. And it has to deal with this idea called hate speech. Hate speech was created really to control free speech. Let's be honest. There is no such thing as hate speech. This is basically anytime you hear a Jewish person using the term, all that Jewish person and again, all the leftist dinglings equally, all they're really trying to do is control free speech. And the problem is not with the Nazis or the anti-Semites and all of this type of issue. The problem is that you are not nowadays allowed to even use speech to engage people peacefully anymore. You can't provide evidence. You cannot provide facts for your argument. So even if the best way to present an argument in an attempt to express your ideas or point of view is by being civil, you're not allowed to be civil anymore. Rushing in and calling people names like Nazi and anti-Semite is not really the way to go at this within the Jewish community, save one issue. Our points are superior to Jewish points. Our logic is superior to Jewish points. Our knowledge is superior to Jewish knowledge. Everything about what we are doing is superior. We're not jealous because of Jewish success now. As you notice, in the early days, Jews would isolate people. They would ban them. They would target them. They would sometimes destroy them. And then they would have the gall to goad at them and say, oh, you're just jealous of our success. No, it's not a jealousy of your success. It's an anger and an indignation at the unfairness upon which the Jewish community operates. That's the truth of the matter. The real issue here is to prevent violence, theoretically. But Jews know that their entire tactic promotes violence. Hence, they want to take away your guns. They want to take away your ability to defend yourself. Everything that Jews are doing right now is geared to destroying civil discourse. Now, the real issue and cause for violence then is not the speech itself. It's really directly related to or in proportion to the amount of tyranny upon which Jews take away free speech. The more people are stripped of their ability to speak with rational and reasoned arguments, well, the more prone the situation will be that they will resort to violence and fisticuffs. The problem is not all of these social media companies like a Gab or a BitChute. The problem is all of those companies and people who are advocating for silencing our freedom of expression. They are the problem. What they want to do is leave people defenseless. You don't have the ability to reason your way with these folks. You don't have a way to talk. And then they want to disarm you in the process equally. All of these issues are counterproductive, but you cannot tell an idiot that. It's simply not possible. I'll tell you, these people. I got the Marine story out of the way. You know, the story out in Florida, out in California is very tragic. You know, you got a lot of stories like people are talking about directed energy weapons and things like that. And, you know, I quite frankly, I would not harbor that this is unlikely. In fact, if the technology is available, I think somebody would use it, certainly. I'm not sure it's available yet, but I certainly won't discount it. Quite frankly, I'm around the military a lot. I know what they can do. So if there's something in the black ops world that the military doesn't have yet, I don't know about that. I do know what the militaries have, and at least what they have publicly. So if something's out of the black ops world, I don't know. Maybe there is some DEW going on. Certainly, whatever took the World Trade Center down pulverized all of that concrete and steel to absolute dust particles. So something brought it down, right? But in California, you've got these wildfires, and they were quite massive. And so far, very tragic coming out of the north. 56 people are dead. 130 people are still missing. And the National Guard, they've been brought in yesterday to start to search the area called Paradise, California, which is obviously not paradise too much anymore. Interior Secretary Ryan Zink joined Governor Jerry Brown on a visit to the town of Paradise, and he told reporters it was the worst fire devastation he had ever seen. And then he said, now is not the time to point fingers. There are lots of reasons these catastrophic fires are happening. He cited warmer temperatures, dead trees, and poor forest management. Well, what he didn't talk about was California squandering enormous amounts of money protecting an illegal invasion force. Literally. That's not brought up. And that's why he says now is not the time to point fingers. Because quite frankly, the resources that are available to California, it's a very rich state, are being spent in ways that only harm the nation and the state of California. You don't have these fires, perhaps, if you invest a little bit more in infrastructure, if you provide the ability for companies to work in perhaps a little bit saner way, because they can. The issue should be falling straight on the governor himself. He should resign. Literally. Those responsible for fire management in California should resign. That's what happens in other countries, folks. In Jordan recently, there were some floods, and 12 people were killed. Another 11 people were killed. The person responsible for these issues tendered his resignation. See, in America, we have a bunch of idiotic, quite frankly, incompetent buffoons granted hundreds of thousands of dollars to basically do nothing. And when their nothingness is exposed, they just ride out there, trot in front of the cameras as if somehow they're not responsible.